You know, motherfuckers are always being told some shit, right? About, nah, we don't want to mess with that guy. He's the scariest motherfucker imaginable. Now, I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
sure.
guys that you really don't with. Ruthless, Death Squad, Killing Machine. And
Yep.
some motherfucker still thinks they're going to be the ones to take him out.
So silly.
Every time.
When the guy in charge ahead of you says, "No, just come on back. Don't f with that guy," and you're like,
We're talking about Sisu today.
Sisu.
SISU, for those of you that don't know, it's a Finnish concept described as stoic determination, tenacity of purpose, grit, bravery, resilience, and hardiness. And they describe it a little bit differently in the opening of the movie, but it's basically just
like a
that.
white knuckled
knuckle-
ferocity or something.
Basically, somebody who's just not going to back down or give up. This is John Wick in World War II in Finland, and this is it's the story of an ex-soldier
Pretty much.
who has now become like he's lost his family, and he wants out of the war, so he's just a lowly prospector living with his dog and his horse and his pickaxe. His pickaxe, though, is like Mjolnir. That thing, that's where he gets his power.
Yeah.
Whosoever
Oh, yeah.
holds this pickaxe shall possess the power of Tommy. Yeah. And he finds some gold, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm rich." And as he's
Found a
going,
lot of gold. That was a come up if I ever seen one.
oh yeah, big come up. And as he's like on his way to like do whatever with it, he runs into like a group of SS Nazis. This is set in a historical period, of course. This is towards the end of World War II, right after Finland loses what's called the Continuation War. So that's the main character. He's just a Finnish like super soldier. And,
Yeah.
and we get like the same backstory from John Wick. I mean, like they might as well have just called him Baba Yaga because like it's like the same reveal. It's like, oh, they find his dog tag at one point and they're like, oh,
Right.
this
Oh my
motherfucker
God.
bad.
You ever heard of this guy?
Yeah, he's unkillable.
They
Yeah.
said we should go
Yeah.
immediately.
Did you tell him he killed 7 of our men? Yeah. General said we're lucky. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
so he's basically like just an old Finnish John Wick with a pickaxe. Is really what this is.
This main guy, Tommy, is so ridiculous, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. By the end of the movie, I thought he was about to fight Thanos. Like, like he was
He just
prepared.
survived everything. He survived
fell off the
hanging.
plane.
He just was hanging.
when he
He
fell
fucking
off
sta-
and then caught it at the tail
yeah.
end of it, I was like, oh yeah, he got this.
This is actually, I would say a grindhouse sort of style of film. Very notable with like the title cards that come up every so often. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Very grindhouse style. The general violence and like gore that this film has throughout most
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, we're talking about the characters, right? Like the one guy, the little lackey of the final boss guy.
Yeah.
That dude, like everybody else in the film, I would imagine is like a Finnish actor. Maybe some of them were German.
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker is like, he looked like a dude out of The Sopranos. He was like straight up an Italian dude. He had a fade
Yeah.
and like a blowout and
Yeah.
shit. It was such
It
a
was so
standout.
funny.
Now, as you know from history, the SS, they were like the worst of the worst of Hitler's soldiers. They weren't even official like German soldiers. They were just like, they were paramilitary basically.
Right.
And they're the ones that Hitler sent in to do all the real dirty shit, like burn
yeah.
entire cities, which we see here
Right.
in this film. Takes place in the Finnish Lapland, and they're just kind of rolling through, like burning towns in their wake. Where were they
Yep.
trying to go? They were trying to go, I think they were going through Finland
North?
to where?
I don't remember, but it was north.
Yeah, something like that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for the plot of the movie. Nothing matters, actually. It's just that this guy, they run across him, they want his gold, and
Yeah.
they chase him for the entire movie to get his gold. It's not really a revenge flick because they're chasing him throughout most of it.
Yes.
And then towards the end, it flips.
There's so much grandiose stuff in this movie. Like all they had to do was like shoot him, but this is like the movie where like the leader's like, no. He's already going to his death. Come on, just
I knew.
Right.
I knew while I was watching, I was like, this is a Dusty criticism. This is a Dusty criticism. But rightfully so, because I was criticizing it too, because
yeah, you're like just kill the
plot could be over with one bullet in the beginning.
When
Because one of the Italian looking guy wanted to shoot
or
him.
He
anywhere.
wanted to shoot him.
Like they were
Yeah.
surrounded. They surrounded him when he had the lines. They could have killed him right then and there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, it's pretty gratuitously violent. There's a lot of gore, a lot of guts, a lot of
So
body
good.
parts. But
Yeah.
There's one point in this movie where he jumps in a river, and they send some soldiers in on a boat to go after him.
That was the most ridiculous. That was what I was gonna say. That was the most ridiculous part of the whole movie.
I was laughing the whole time. He's just people are just going under and not coming out, and you just get that like blood gurgling to the top effect from Jaws.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just like, what the fuck? It was so crazy. Honestly, I actually enjoyed the movie pretty much throughout. I thought the cinematography was really, really good. A lot of these like vistas and like a lot of the shots that they show, these long shots of him in the distance. Even like a lot of the violence in the movie, while it was gory and pretty like in your face, it was like kind of shot well, right? Very creatively shot too. So I appreciated all that. I appreciated the cinematography. Personal little critique is that in movies like this, I prefer if it's subtitled. It makes it feel more real to me. These guys aren't going to be just speaking perfect English.
I thought it was going to
I didn't
be
even think
all
about that.
subtitled. I didn't actually. I was a
That's
little
so funny.
pleasantly surprised, to be honest.
I get it. It's like a very not serious action movie, sort of. So it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. But I don't know. That's just a little gripe of mine. But overall, I thought most of the acting was good. His acting was great, despite not really having a single line of dialogue until the very end of the movie. His expressions were very good. Like it's mostly him just like grimacing in pain and screaming the entire time. But
Yeah,
he really sold that
he sold it.
weathered soldier who's just like wants to be left alone. Like just please.
They did a good job with the audio too. I thought the soundtrack, like,
Yeah.
a lot of it was just like low chord tones is really all it was to give that ambiance of like the grind that he's going through. Like he's in the
Yeah.
grinder.
The movie had like a Western feel to me too, a little
Yeah,
bit.
absolutely. Yes. Well,
And I think that was the Grindhouse appeal of it, part of it.
mhm.
Like very like, it felt like Quentin Tarantino. Obviously, he made the
Definitely
film Grindhouse.
Quentin Tarantino-esque.
Felt very
Yes,
Quentin
I got that
Tarantino
vibe.
minus the N word 60 times. Robert Rodriguez ish. But for as much as I enjoyed the movie and for as good as it is, for the most part, the ending lost me. That shit is just, it was too ridiculous at that point. I get we saw a lot of ridiculous shit, but there's this whole like finale that's an action sequence that takes place on a plane. That was a little bit over the top. Honestly, it felt very out of place for what the rest of the movie was. The rest of the movie, like, while it was over the top, it still felt like pretty grounded and realistic. Maybe because of the setting and that it's like World War II, and you could like buy the fact that it's just like this group of Nazis trying to like kill this guy for his gold. It was all pretty believable up until this plane scene.
That was the overtop moment for me. I was like, come on.
That ending was a bit much for me. That
It was a
ending
bit much.
That's where the movie lost me a little bit. I'm docking it points on my rating because of that ending.
Oh,
I didn't think I was gonna like it at all, but I actually really enjoyed it. Again, the most shining part of it for me was the cinematography. I thought it was really good. A lot of beautiful shots in the movie.
yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great makeup too. Like him just being like
Mhm.
all cut up and muddy and bloody and
Everyone's
scarred up.
filthy.
You know, I was really
Yeah, they did a really good job of showing that grit.
So the special effects were done really well, whether they were CGI or practical. I thought that was all pretty impressive. But
Yeah.
movie seems to be quite popular. Critics who have seen it are like kind of raving about it at this point.
It was cool.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing groundbreaking, but
No.
it's a fun watch, and it's worth
For
a
sure,
watch,
fun watch.
is what
Yeah.
I would say.
Not in like story or tone or anything like that, just purely based on the premise. It reminded me a lot of Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because Nobody is like, you know, it's a John Wick story, but it's a creative version of John Wick's story, which again, to John Wick's credit, John Wick was at the time when it came out a creative revenge story. We've
Right.
seen tons
Mhm.
of revenge stories over the years, but this one is about his dog, right?
yeah.
Oh, you killed my dog? That's something everybody could relate to, right?
Yeah.
And then it took it one step further, which is my favorite part of John Wick, which is where it does the job of the audience for the audience. Like if you normally when you watch a movie like this, where there's like a badass motherfucker who's going to get some revenge, you as an audience member, you're sitting there like, oh, you f***ed up. You
Mhm.
f***ed up. Well, John Wick does that for you literally in the film where one of
Yeah.
the characters is like, oh, you f***ed up. You f***ed the wrong dude.
Fucked up, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
John Wick was like the first time you really saw that. At least I did anyway. So I love that part of John Wick. And then, you know, obviously everybody now wants to like recreate the magic of John Wick. And like, Nobody I thought was like really good. And this is another very creative version of that type of story where it's like very samey, but just different enough to give it that like extra appeal.
I was minding my own business. You entered my world.
Yeah.
And now you have to reap the punishment.
Do you think it was them stealing the gold, or him seeing the entire town burnt down is what triggered him to go after them? Or a combination of both, maybe.
A culmination,
Probably a little bit of everything. I mean, you get the little bit of backstory you get from him is that his family was killed. So he
had already lost everything, and he found an escape, and then he lost that, and then he got it back, and then he went back. You know, he got the town.
Well, seeing the town burning, it was probably a little bit of a reminder for him.
Well, and knowing that those girls were in the truck, and that was pretty much all that's left of the town.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of everything. I feel like it all added up.
That's the same thing that I got from that as well.
Yeah. Nice.
This has a 6.9 on IMDb. What are you guys thinking?
It's a 7.
7?
Yep, I gave it a point bump. Yep, it's a 7.
All right, I changed my mind. I won't bump it down. I was gonna bump it down because of the ending, but I think it's a 7. Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's just a really fun watch. I mean, if you like a little mindless, gratuitous violence.
Yep. And it's short too.
Yeah, it's
short.
Not a lot of dialogue, but again, great cinematography, interesting ambiance with the music choice, and explosions and fighting.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's not to love?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Fun flick.
Same. Sisu, check it out, folks. If you've already seen it, let us know what you think about it. Leave a comment somewhere.